So today I'm joined by a very special guest. Often we interview famous people, stars, singers, actors. However, I've always said that Punjab 2000 is about infotainment. So it's about information and entertainment. And today is all about information. And it's about real lives that have been affected. Lives that have been affected by the government, by false accusations, and the impact that those accusations and those trials and tribulations have had on real people in our community, in our Punjabi community. You've probably seen on ITV a drama regarding the post office, Mr. Bates versus the post office, and you've seen characters portrayed in that. I'm delighted to be joined by Jess Kaur, who is one of the real life characters that was portrayed in Mr. Bates versus Post Office. And you've all heard of the post office scandal that's going on and the updates, and even today there's been a development where the former CEO has handed back, or said she's going to hand back, her CBE. So without further ado, let's get a little background on it and let's talk to Jess Kaur. Jess Kaur, Sat Sri Akal, welcome to the show.
Sat Sri Akal, Buzzy. Nice to have this time with you on this show.
It's really, really thankful to have you here, because I understand how hard it must be to go time and time to go again through this, and especially to relive the bad times. But I think it's important that your story needs to be told.
It does, yeah, 100%. And firstly, I'd like to say thank you to Punjab 2000 as well for giving me this opportunity to take the time out and to talk about my story.
No need to thank us. It's our farz to talk about stuff like this, especially when it happens to people of our own
community.
And not only as you're a person in a community, but you're also a radio presenter yourself.
I am, yes.
So you're a person you're a colleague of mine from the media, and it's important to get your side of the story. Tell us exactly the background of it. So pretend we don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Tell us exactly what happened.
Okay, so back in 2005, I bought a post office in Walsall.
Okay.
It was called Lazy Hill Post Office in Aldridge, a little town in Walsall.
Okay.
Started having problems from, say, first few months, and there was a cheque that went through as cash.
Okay.
I knew the problem.
Yeah.
I knew what the problem was. I did try and rectify it, and I did get help for it, but they wasn't having it. They said that I've taken the cash. Okay.
How long were you sub postmaster, or how long did you have any training? Did they give you an experience?
So the postmistress role came up, and I applied for it.
Okay.
I got some training from a local post office.
Okay.
An uncle that's very familiar to myself. Like he's passed away now, so
Okay.
he can't even see this, how far I've actually got. He trained me up, and we went for the position, bought the post office. A lot of training had to be done, but I was only given like 4 or 5 days training.
Okay.
Which was quite hard as well, because working in a post office and training is completely different to actually owning one.
Right. Okay.
So basically, bought the post office, got all my ins and outs, and signed this big massive contract that not everybody reads. And apparently it said in that contract that if there's any shortfalls, the postmistress has to put it back in.
But was the contract, was it online, or was it in actually writing?
It was a big folder, yeah.
But and it's all written in small print.
Small print. You don't really have time to read every single page word for word,
Right. Okay.
But the basic thing was that we should have read that contract. So I signed it, and so basically I was.
So then what happened? You said that you noticed there was a shortfall.
Yeah. So because I knew what the problem was, I did rectify it. So that was that at that time.
Was this just a one-off?
No. After that, I had problems with card payments.
Right.
So the actual PIN pad that you put your card into was faulty.
Okay.
But they were saying that I was taking the second transaction and pocketing it. So,
right.
So basically...
So funds were going missing.
Funds were going
missing. The post office was saying that
yeah.
you had taken those funds.
Yeah.
So then, Was this with the Horizon system or?
Horizon system. It's not so much the Horizon system as much as the pin pad was faulty.
Okay.
So they kept doubling the transactions.
Okay.
So they were saying that the second transaction that was going through, I was pocketing, which I wasn't.
Right.
I didn't even know that.
So did they ask? So they were saying, were they saying you pocketing cash, or did they
Cash.
ask for your bank statements?
No cash.
All right. So they saying you just taking cash out the till.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So when that happened,
Yeah.
then obviously, what did you have a chance to put your side of things over to them, or
No. Auditors turned up to the post office. I wasn't
just
there.
unannounced?
Yeah.
Wow, it's like a raid,
Like a raid.
like an income tax raid or something.
Yeah. So the post office was shut down. Auditors came. Fraud investigators came. I wasn't there at the time. I was at home. So another member of staff was running it for me. The night before, they'd done the balance and everything was fine. Then they came up with £800 of stamps had gone missing overnight.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was another thing that you cannot roll over to the next day until everything is perfect.
Did they not think, what would you want with £800 worth of stamps?
What was I going to do with stamps? Yeah.
That's a lot of envelopes.
A lot of envelopes. Well, they used to give us a Christmas present once a year, 100 stamps.
Right. So they.
Yeah.
So they actually then came up and said what, and they did directly accuse you?
Yeah.
Just point blank and said, you've taken this.
I've taken the stamps, I've done this, I've done that, this is not matching, that's not matching. And then fraud investigators, they obviously the post office have their own investigation team, so they took me to the police station, in Walsall Police Station.
They took you to the police station?
Yeah.
When was this, 2005?
9.
Yeah. Okay.
Took me to the police station. I had my full interview with them, and all the way through my interviews I kept saying no, I haven't done nothing. I didn't take no legal representative with me.
Right, okay, you did
I
take a lawyer. Because you thought, why? I'm not guilty,
I've not done
right?
nothing. I've done nothing wrong. So they had a break with because I got really frustrated. I got really angry. I started crying. And
how long were you at the police station?
Hours, yeah.
Like 4 hours, 5 hours?
Probably more.
Really?
Yeah.
And what were the police would?
It wasn't police. It was the
post office people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and they were just asking you questions again.
Yeah.
And did they tape it? Did they tape all of this? They usually tape them, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the second interview, then I just broke down, and they, in between that interview, they said to me, "You're the only one that said this has happened to. You have to plead not guilty."
Yeah.
Plead not guilty, and we'll get you back into your office the next morning.
Oh, just plead guilty, you mean?
Sorry, plead. I'll get confused.
Oh, right, okay.
Plead guilty.
Yeah.
And then.
So they actually said, if you plead guilty, we'll get you back into the
office tomorrow morning.
God.
And me, I just listened to them, and I just went along with what they said.
You thought they were there to help you?
I thought they was helping me. Yeah.
So you pled guilty?
I pled guilty, yeah.
And then what?
And then, obviously, all the court proceedings have started happening. Then
they took you to court.
They took me to court. Yeah.
Over what amount were they saying?
And then it ended up with that I was getting charged with 36 counts of theft.
Totaling
£11,000.
So they were saying you took
£11,000.
£11,000.
Yeah.
And they had you up in court.
In court for 3 years. I was in and out courts, and through that court proceedings, all the rest of it, I ended up with a mental health problem. I tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, I saw that in the drama.
Yeah.
And that was obviously it took a toll on you.
Yeah.
So I also saw that after pleading guilty, you went to court and then changed your plea.
We had to change plea because they knew that I was innocent.
Because you could face jail, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I was actually told I was going down for 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
But at that time, did you realise how grave it was that you were pleading guilty to something?
Yeah.
So
obviously, the family had put a lot of pressure on me. It says you need to get this plea changed. Went through various solicitors and everything. Yeah. So we managed to get it overturned to not guilty.
Right.
And then when we were in court, I mean, I obviously wasn't there because I was in hospital. The post office did not believe that I was in hospital. They sent their own doctors to prove that I was in hospital, and to
check, see if you were lying or not.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So they came to the hospital. They checked if I was there. They did not believe the records that the hospital provided, and they did their own examination on me.
They thought you were doing bakanda.
Yeah.
So when you're been accused of this,
Oh.
what was the support like, and what was the reaction like of the community, and what was everyone like towards you? I mean, how did you feel? Just tell us, how did you feel? You must have been feeling scared
I was
going into
very
court,
scared
right?
because obviously...
'Cause you've never been to court before or
never been
anything,
to
like never
court,
been to
no.
a police station
No,
before, probably,
no,
right?
No. And because I was an Asian woman, I was Indian, it was splashed all over the front pages of the Express and Star. It was in This Pradesh as well.
No way.
I basically wanted to just hide, go away, get rid of my life. And I also tried to commit suicide while I was in hospital as well. So the treatment that they was giving me in hospital wasn't working.
And I saw that it was like, when I saw what was happening to you on TV, it reminded me of the Hindi films.
Yeah.
You know, when the electric shock treatment.
Electric shock treatment.
Did they actually give you electric shock treatment in this country?
14
times?
14 times, yeah.
What-
Because the
what-
medication wasn't working.
And what was they telling you was happening to you? What was happening to you?
I was just in a right state. I was like mentally disturbed. I was doing things that I shouldn't be doing. I was talking to people like I shouldn't be talking. Tried to hang myself in the sorry. Tried to hang myself while I was in hospital.
God.
So then I was on under 24-hour care. So
An observation, right?
Observations, and the doctors and nurses were with me 24 hours a day.
This is terrible.
Yeah. And
What sort of support was there from the community? Did people rally around you, or did they sort of shun you?
They just walked away and didn't want to
What
know.
about your own relatives?
Family and friends.
They didn't want to know?
They didn't want to know. Nobody come to see me in hospital apart from my immediate family.
I know this is really sort of harrowing thing to say. Did they also think that you were guilty?
Obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
That's why I went into such a state. Because my own family and friends turned on me. Newspaper articles were sent to my family saying shame on your family. Messages were sent backwards and forwards, like, through WhatsApps and, whatever it was at that time.
God.
Your sister's like this, your wife's like this, your mum's like this. My
So
children.
you're members of your family?
Yeah.
And your kids?
Kids, yeah, they went through it as well. Through school.
How long did this last, this whole ordeal?
About 3 years. 3 years.
Oh. So, I remember that at any time, when I was watching the programme, I saw that at any time the post office didn't give you any support.
No.
In fact, they sort of victimised you.
They did, yeah.
They also told you you're the only one that's happening.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's happened to, and that seems to be a common theme amongst all the people who are accused.
Everybody that I've spoken to, because we do have like quite a big group that we all talk to each other.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I had to come out of that group, unfortunately, because I couldn't cope with all the messages. And in that group, everybody was telling us the same story. That this is what they've said to them.
And currently there's about, 500 plus people it's
There's
happened to?
700, yeah.
700?
Yeah. And in the last week, since the drama's been on TV, another 52 people have come forward.
Wow.
People have contacted me as well.
And people have went to jail for this.
Oh, yeah.
Did you at one stage think that that's what would happen to you?
Okay, so going back to jail, you might have heard of a lady called Seema Misra from London.
Yeah.
So I went to her. We was all told that we need to support each other on our court cases.
Yeah.
So I went. She was pregnant at the time, so she got sentenced, and
That's
sent to
right, I
prison.
read about that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a pregnant woman,
Yeah.
and they jailed her.
Jailed her, and then when she was released, they released her on tag. So she was in hospital with a tag on. She just felt so humiliated and so embarrassed. But that's the way they treated
It's an
her.
Asian woman once
Asian
again.
one, yeah. And then there's another one from Shrewsbury's, Rabina. She was on news last night. Her dad was sat next to me in court, and he said to me, but the beg your leg here. Okay, uncle, it's not for me to say, but just wait until it's all over. So the bag was for her to go to prison.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's 2 Asian women gone to prison. And the day that she was sent to prison, the judge said to me, because I was sat in court, he goes, "Did you..."
Same day?
Same day.
So your trials were on the same day? Or
My court case was straight after hers. He said to me, "Did you just see what I've done?" Yeah, looked me straight in the face and said, "Did you see what I've just done?" And that was obviously more frightening than anything else. And that was at Shrewsbury Crown Court.
Wow. It's hard to process.
Mm.
As a lawyer, I find that hard to process.
Yeah.
But that's the way you lot were treated.
Mm.
It seems like everyone had made their mind up that you were guilty, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, in a television adaptation, you can see that on the day that you were found not guilty,
Yeah.
it was actually because they couldn't produce his pin pad, right?
Pin pad, yeah. So the judge had asked the post office, "Where's the pin pad?"
Mm-hmm.
The post office said the pin pad's been taken out for repair. Why is it gone for repair? Because it was faulty.
So what you were saying was right.
Yeah.
And then the judge said, right,
Yeah, no case.
to the post office, no case.
No
Yeah?
case, they dropped all the charges. And then I had a letter off the post office a few months after, I can't remember exact dates, because I don't actually remember all this, is just what I've been asking the family and, revising everything. They sent a letter to say, "We want the £800 for the stamps."
After everything they put you through?
Yeah.
Your fees, you must have paid out your pocket for the
Yeah.
lawyers, right?
Yeah.
You didn't get them back, did you?
No.
Also, during this whole thing, I understand because of the electric shocks and the treatment, you've suffered memory loss.
Memory loss, yeah.
You can't remember your childhood.
No.
I can see now you're quite confused on some matters.
Yeah.
What was you like before? Do you remember?
Bubbly. Got on with everybody. I'm trying to get my life back now, but it's just taken it out of me so much.
People usually think that the end of a court case means the end of trials and tribulations.
Mm.
Did it end for you there?
No.
How did it carry on?
Because everybody, because at this time it happened, I was straight on the front page of the newspaper. The day my charges were dropped. Why didn't nobody put it in then?
No one put it in there. No apologies.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Did they say sorry to you, the post office?
No.
Right.
Nothing at all.
And you had seen someone go to jail
Twice.
in front of you?
Yeah.
And one of them was a pregnant woman.
Pregnant woman. Yeah, the words when they say "take them down,"
Yeah.
it haunts you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And it's all the things like that. I mean, I went to the court cases because, I wanted a feel of how it would be like if I was to get sentenced.
Or just to find out what evidence that they've got as well.
Yeah.
And was the case in the cases pretty much the same? That everyone had suffered the same? They were accusing them of the same things? That you've taken the money?
Yeah.
So to all the others, they were saying the same thing, that you've taken it.
Yeah.
Despite telling you and the others that you lot were the only ones.
Only ones, yeah.
So then after you were found not guilty, or there's no case to answer, then what support did they offer you?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
How did you piece your life back together? Or are you still working on it? My life got back together when I started looking for things to do. The hospital gave me a lot of help. Right.
Care workers, support workers, and I was also given support through an Asian Abonee Sikh charity that I worked for. They helped me a lot.
Okay.
Actually, they helped me an awful lot, and going to the events and going to various places, that helped me a lot. There's a lot of Gurdwara. I visited a lot of Gurdwara, and that's how I started getting back into the community, getting my life back together a little bit. Support workers would take me to the Gurdwara. I wouldn't go on my own. I was too embarrassed to go on my own. I was too scared to go on my own.
Even after you found an location answer?
Yeah.
Was that because people gave you the impression that they still thought you were guilty, despite you got off?
Because there was no announcements, nothing, no paper coverage, no newspaper, no news, nothing to say that, I'm innocent.
How far were you getting calls from? Were you getting calls from relatives and calling your family, and were they getting calls? Or because sometimes, we get calls from India even.
Yeah.
Did that sort of happen to you?
Yeah. My mum was getting calls from family, my husband, my brother. I know they don't tell me everything, but they went through hell as well. Not only as my family members, but it's just nice now to be able to speak about it and to let all those know that the ones that talked about me. Are you still talking about me today?
Well, it must be.
Yeah.
But probably in a good light.
In a good light, yeah.
Have any of them ever come to you and said, look, we're sorry?
No.
Has anyone ever apologised?
No.
All the people that thought you were wrong?
No one.
That's terrible.
Mm.
It's just they were quick to judge.
Oh, yeah.
Never quick to apologise, right?
No.
So, when did you actually meet Alan then? Alan Bates, and when did your group come together? Or when did you realise that, hold on, this is happening to loads of people?
Yeah. So Alan Bates put up a post on the internet, and...
You saw it?
No, I didn't. My husband did.
Right.
So he searched for him and found the group, and the meeting was like within a few days or something after we found him. And so we got in touch with him, and then from then on, he's been our backbone, really. So since 2009.
And talking to others who've been through this, what sort of feeling did you get? Had they been through exactly the same thing you've been through?
They've been through worse than me. There's some of them that have passed away. Some of them committed suicide.
I saw that one person did. They picturised that he took his life.
He took his life. He jumped in front of a bus, and that's a true life story. That actually happened. We know who he was. And another guy that who passed away, he honestly lovely guy, but he just couldn't fight it till the end. £36,000 at a local post office in a village. You probably heard about her story as well.
Yeah.
So that was it's all true stories. Everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you? When you watched this program on TV, did you relive all the emotions again?
I did, yeah.
And how are you feeling right now?
Relieved is the biggest word.
Are you fully relieved? Because I don't think you're fully recovered.
No.
Will you ever recover?
No. It's a relief as in the fact that it's all out there in the open again, but in a good way. But relieved as...
And relief that people now really know that you're innocent.
Yeah. I mean, I've had quite a lot of messages from people, I saw you on TV, I'm glad you've got it out in the open, and that's all like really good, like support and everything.
But during that time no one offered you support, right?
No.
But now you've been on TV, people messaging you.
They'd actually taken me serious,
Wow. Wow. What do you want to happen that will give you some sense of justice?
I just want to move on. Move on, put it all behind us, get everybody to get what they deserve. It's not about the compensation. That's what everybody's thinking, you hope you sue them for millions. I'm not bothered about the money. I've lived my life. I can carry on living my life. I just want a closure. I want it all behind us. Don't want to talk about post office ever again, but it's just dragging. Nothing seems to be closing.
What can the post office do to make things right? And what have they done to make things right? Have they done anything which you think, okay, fair do, they did that?
Well, the biggest one is today, to be honest, isn't it? The news that we've heard today from Paula Reynolds,
Right.
handing
Giving her
back.
CV.
Yeah.
But that wasn't because of her. That was due to a petition.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a million signatures
So this
on
is
it.
what we're saying as well in our groups, that it's taken a petition for her to actually hand it back. Why wasn't it done?
Well, it's taken a TV documentary
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
you lot to get some sort of
Yeah.
media hype and to find out. Because like you said, when you got your case was no case to answer, you didn't get covered by any newspapers, did you?
No.
The newspapers that splashed you on the front, they didn't.
No.
What now, apart from closure, should the government pay you all your money back? Should they give you compensation? Do you feel the people who have lost stuff, they should be compensated?
Of course, yeah.
They should.
100%.
How do you compensate you for all the treatment that you have,
Well,
the loss of memory? How do we quantify that? How do you can't, whatever, I could give you, or the government could give you £20 million now. It's not going to bring your memories back.
No.
It's not going to bring back the time that you felt when you're feeling suicidal.
Well, this is what I've been talking to my solicitor about, and he said that we just can't work it out. We don't know how we're going to work it out.
How we're going to quantify it.
Yeah.
I think that is a problem. Do you feel that if you lot hadn't come together, the post office would have just got away with this?
They would have got away with it. They would have just carried on. But it's out in the open. Everybody knows what's happening. Fujitsu and Horizon have got a lot to answer for.
Do you blame Fujitsu or do you blame the post office? Or do you blame both of them?
Both. Yeah, definitely both. They're obviously in it together to be able to do what they've done.
Did you go to your MP and your local councillors for support?
We did, yeah.
And what was he told? Did they think you were guilty as well?
Well, because of what they read in the paper.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you thought they'd made their minds up, yeah?
And then, I don't really want to name her name.
No, don't name names, but we'll guess them, but
she came knocking on our door for a vote.
No way!
Yeah. And she was turned away.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Who did you feel you could turn to at that time?
No one. God. That was it. God.
I saw in a documentary the Gurdwara aspect of it.
Yeah.
And you shot a scene at the Gurdwara, and and it was. We saw how important that was.
Mm-hmm.
How important do you think your faith was during this time?
Behind me, 100%. Behind me. I knew my Guru was going to get me out this somehow.
Because you hadn't done it.
I hadn't done it. Yeah. But according to the papers I had, according to the post office I had.
What do you got to say to people in your own community? What are you going to say to them? What's your message now?
Don't judge anybody until you've got the true facts. Do not judge anybody.
And the fact is, you were never found guilty.
No.
So you were never found guilty. And you felt like this. Where you've tried to take your own life twice. You've feared being locked up. You've had treatment, severe treatment, which is all proven. You were doubted at every aspect of it.
Yeah.
What about the people who went to jail? Or the people who lost loved ones? I mean, do you often speak to them about how they must have spoken to you about how they feel?
Well, we're in contact with quite a few, and we all give out each other support, talk about it. But how many are you supposed to talk to?
Everyone's got the same story.
Yeah.
Or sometimes even worse.
Yeah. I mean, everybody thinks their own story is a nightmare, which it is. But when you hear some of the other stories from other postmasters and mistresses, what they've been through, it's a lot worse than what I went through.
I also saw that a lot of people lost their homes, lost their livelihoods.
Yeah. So the lady that I was talking to, about Rabina, they lived in their van.
In their van?
Van, yeah, because they took everything. They were made penniless. They had no income, nothing. So they was living in the van that they used to use for their post office and shop.
It's hard for me to hear, let alone imagining you going through it. Now, that you're on the TV and you've got a lot of courage in telling your story.
Yeah.
I've seen you on ITV, I've seen you on, in the morning shows, and I've seen you everywhere. Are you now on a sort of mission now to educate everyone and to clear your name, or are you on a mission to just support others who might be in a similar situation?
I mean, I'm happy to give anybody support. I mean, people have reached out to me. I think the main thing is, if you are having any problems, being Asian, everybody shies away. Get it out there, get help if you need it. Don't bottle it up. Don't think, oh, next week it'll be fine. Next week they could be pounding on you, on your office, and you'll be made a criminal as well. So that's my message to anybody out there. If you've got problems, get help. Get in touch with Alan Bates.
Okay. And like I said, to the people that, do you have any message to the people who judged you, the people who shied away from you, the people who accused you, the people who probably stopped talking to you, right? Do you have any message for them?
It's just a big slap in the face, as they say, isn't it? When they was talking about me at that time, when they was sending messages to my family, sending photos of the article to my family as well. I just hope they can have the courage to send the articles now to my family. I did go through a really, really bad patch in my life. I've come out of it as much as I can, but I'm still on my medication. I still wake up every morning taking tablets, to get me through the day.
That's going to stay with you for a long time.
It's a lifetime. I'm on lifetime medication, yeah.
And do you hope one day to get your life back together? Or do you realise that it's not going to be?
I just take every day as it is, and just hope. I'm glad that I wake up every morning to see that day.
If someone is going through difficulties at this time, what would you say to them? Not necessarily in the post office scenario, but other stuff in life where people do go through a hard time, and people are contemplating taking their own lives due to financial reasons. What would you say to them?
But there is help out there, and please do get help. I went through hell and back, as they say, and I don't know if I'm fully back.
Yeah. It's part of you still there.
Yeah. Because every day, every time I pick up the tablets to take them, my mind just goes over to that bed.
Well, you shouldn't be on them tablets.
No.
That isn't a direct result of any neglect on your part.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I'm on tablets because I neglected my health.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be on tablets because you didn't neglect your health. You was put in this situation.
Yeah.
And I'm just surprised that your MPs, your councillors, the local community didn't sort of rally around you, because my job is I look at people all day, right? And my job is to assess whether they're lying or whatever, what the angle is. I can tell there's not a bad bone in your body. You can tell you're not the sort of person. You're simple folk like us lot.
That's it.
So, I mean, and the fact that they thought that you were manipulating your health, they thought you were lying at every stage, they thought you were lying about the pin pad. In fact, it was you were telling the truth.
The truth, yeah.
How does it feel to know that you were telling the truth at every single stage, but no one believed you?
It just makes me so angry, because we tried so hard to get it through to their heads. We had to get a judge to actually do this for us, to tell them, well, if you've got a faulty pin pad, it's obviously faulty.
That's why you sent it to repair.
Yeah. So.
And that's what this woman is saying.
Yeah.
If that pin pad hadn't been faulty, but the Horizon system had, there's a real prospect you could have been sent to jail.
I was told I was going down for 2 years, yeah.
Wow. Wow. And what do you put that down to? Is that a stroke of luck? Or is that sort of something the post office didn't see? Or is that just God's intervention?
It's God, honestly. It's God showing me that let them do what they're doing, let them carry on. I will show them that you're innocent.
What help did you get from any support groups or any charities? We often hear about people can phone groups such as Samaritans and
No.
Mind and charities like. Did you get any help from any charities?
No.
Did you reach?
I was offered it, but I just didn't want to.
Didn't want to take it.
No.
Didn't want to take it.
I was just didn't want to do anything.
What has the post office offered you now? Have they offered you medical facilities? Have they offered you rehabilitation? Have they offered you any sort of charitable support? What have they actually offered you now?
Nothing.
Even after all of this?
Nothing.
They've given you nothing? Huh?
Not a single phone call, no letters, nothing, no financial help at the moment, nothing.
They're very vocal in the press and saying, "Oh, we apologise and we're going to cooperate with an inquiry." The fact is, the inquiry didn't start to 2021, right?
So, this inquiry is just going to keep going on. How long is it going to go on for? We keep getting deadlines that will be sorted by this. We've actually had a deadline for last December, but nothing happened then either.
How long has it been going on? About 2 or 3 years?
Well,
21, isn't it? It started, I thought the inquiry started.
2021 to see it.
That's 2 years at least.
Yeah.
And what do you hope at the end to get out of this inquiry?
Like I said, project closure. I just want it all ended. I don't want to hear post office again. I see a post office van and I start getting shivers. I can't physically go into a post office myself, but I have to now and again.
And your ordeal's been going on since 2009?
Yeah.
Until 15. And it literally started with one day them just turning up and taking down the police station?
Yeah.
Wow. How many court appearances did you have? Do you remember?
I don't, because...
Over 3 years it must have been a few, right?
Over 3 years, yeah. So, because I was in hospital, my husband had to keep going, my brother went as well. And I couldn't tell you, honestly, even unless I was to go back and really investigate into how many times and all the rest of it, but I don't really want to go into it. It's just traumatising as it is.
Tell us about the role, let's talk about a bit more positive aspect. Tell us about the role your family played and the support they gave you, especially your husband and your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. What sort of support did they give you?
Just being there. Every day they'd come to hospital to see me. My children had come. And that's all I had. Everybody else was in the background.
God. God. Has that given you any comfort today, knowing that Paula Reynolds has given back or she's saying she's going to give back her CBE?
It's just another procedure, isn't
it? Is it just a gesture?
Yeah.
You think it's all empty words?
Yeah.
If the post office now held up their hands and said, "Sorry, we're totally sorry to what we've done," which they're probably are or doing it due to pressure, would that mean anything to you?
No more now.
Not no more?
No.
And what
I've
about...
lost all faith in post office.
And it's just a harrowing story, really. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, on behalf of our community, I do feel ashamed of it that there was an innocent person going through this. And the first thing we do is sit there as judge. And I've been guilty of that a few times. I sit there and I think, "Oh, you know what, I bet that person did it, or I bet this person did it." We've all done it. Anyone who's watching this who says they haven't done it, it's probably lying.
Yeah.
But you don't realise at that time, I don't realise that this is the effect it has on someone. And so it's, if there's anything we can take away from this, is don't judge. If someone's, if a court hasn't declared anyone guilty, then who are we to judge? Who are we to judge in this? And provide support. And if you can't provide support, then at least don't be a pain. And at least don't put someone through that. Where do you see your future as now? What do you want to do now in the future?
God.
I know you're a radio presenter.
God, yeah. I'll just carry on with that.
You get a gig on the TV now. You're on ITV, BBC. I've seen you everywhere. You're on all the channels that I've been on. So, I mean...
We'll just take it every day as it comes. I've got no future plans because I can't make any plans just yet.
Are you in a better place than where you were, say, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Better?
I'm getting better, yeah.
Getting better?
Yeah.
And obviously you'll get treatment. We all wish you well. from Punjab 2000. We all wish, from the community, we wish you well. You know,
Punjab 2000's always had my back. They've always supported me.
yeah. To be fair,
Yeah.
Punjab 2000 does have a lot of people's backs.
Yeah.
Even you know, when people sometimes say, "Well, why?" and they do question us, and they say, "Well, why are you so adamant about these topics, especially on issues of human rights and, you know, like stuff in the farmers' protests and stuff like that?" We got a lot of flack for it, but you know, we do make a stand, and we attempt to make a stand for people who are of our own, for a start. The clue's in her name,
Yeah.
Punjab 2000.
Punjab 2000.
And the other thing is that, you know, I think your tale needs to be told, because I think we know it's happened to over 700 odd people,
Yeah.
but I think it happens in other forms of life to people as well.
Yeah.
So God knows what
So
the government are getting away
there's
with.
3,500 people it's affected, but
Wow.
700, up to 555 is the first lot that have gone through the Alan Bates, and there is more.
So this is never going to stop.
No.
This is only like what, a fifth or sixth of what's gone through.
Yeah.
God. So I suppose you have to prepare yourself to live through this every day, then, right?
Yeah. And they are talking about a drama series part 2 as well.
Yeah, I think they should do. I think it should do. And the good thing is now, the stuff when we watched when we were children, there was no sort of way to record it apart from on DVDs or CDs and videos. But this is straight away on YouTube and iPlayer and stuff like that, and you know, and ITV players. It's there for life.
Yeah.
Maybe a record there for life.
Mhm.
So, any final message that you want to tell our viewers?
Like I've said to you before, if you've got a problem, if it's a mental health problem, if it's any type of problem with the post office, do get help. Don't shy away because you think you're Asian, and people are going to talk. People have talked about me, they've damaged me, they've ruined my life, but I'm here to tell my story.
Wow. And I think ultimately one takeaway I get from this is the most important one. If you're in the truth, if you're in the right, stick by your guns.
Yeah.
I think this is a tale of resilience. This is what you did.
Yeah.
You didn't cave in. And even at times when you did, you thought, you know what, no, I'm going to stand by and stick by the truth. And you stuck by the truth. And the truth won. In the end, it's won. It might have been a long battle, but you've won, ultimately. And now every day you're winning as more stuff's coming out.
Yeah.
And
Which it will do, and a lot more stuff's going to come out now.
Yeah, and it is coming out pretty much every day. We hear about all this stuff coming out, and now how Fujitsu's been awarded contracts.
Yeah.
Instead of being punished, they've been awarded contracts.
Yeah.
CEO Paula, she got posted elsewhere and got a promotion. Promotion, and it just seems...
And she's a vicar as well.
Yeah, well,
Standing
that's
there
right,
giving
yeah.
advice.
Giving sermons
Yeah.
about truth,
Yeah.
good and evil.
Mm.
Don't think she's really sided with the truth on this.
Yeah.
Do you think just before we leave, do you think the post office actively covered this whole thing up even when they knew they found out that they were wrong? When they found out that Horizon was wrong and it was actually in the wrong, do you think, one, they should have intervened a lot earlier, which is what I think, and do you think that they actually covered it up? And I think that's...
They covered it up because they knew they was getting deeper and deeper into it, and they didn't know which way to go.
Do you think they panicked?
Yeah. They ruined so many lives, they didn't know how to handle it, I don't think.
They
And
just
they
don't
knew
want to
that
put their hands up.
They don't want to put their hands up. They're dealing with people. They've actually ruined everybody's life. They've ruined a lot of people's lives. Not only just the postmasters, it's their families as well.
Yeah.
I know.
It's not just you affected.
Yeah.
It was, everyone went through them all, right?
Yeah.
Jess, incredibly brave, a survivor,
Yeah.
and, you know, wish you the best. And I know you're going to get well soon, and I know you're going to get through this, because this was probably the hardest part to get through.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, them words will always stay with me, where, have you seen what I just done to her? Or have I seen what I just, have you heard what I just said?
Yeah.
Well, the judge.
Yeah.
That's when that frightens the life out of
It
people.
frightens the life out of you. Did you see what I've just done?
Did you see what I've just done? Wow.
And then just want to add to that bit, the 2 prosecutors that came, they were talking in the canteen and they said 2 years, 2 years. How did they know it was going to be 2 years? She had 2 years as well. So everybody was handed 2 years. I don't understand it. We actually physically heard him ourselves.
Wow. Jess, wish you the best. Thank you for coming on and telling your story.
No, thank you for having me.
No, it's been I can't even say it's been a pleasure. It's been an eye-opener.
Yeah.
That's what I say. It's been an eye-opener about this. I only pray that it doesn't happen to anyone else.
Yeah.
And I hope someday you do get your closure.
Thank you.
And after all of this, and I hope you get the apologies, and I hope you get all the compensation that you need, and that you're owed. And I'm sorry you had to battle all this way just to clear your name.
Yeah.
That you've had to wait 13, 14 years.
15.
Wow. To clear your name.
Yeah.
And you've had to go through
Which it
court
could have
cases.
been done about 12 years ago.
Could have been done straight away.
Yeah.
Couldn't it?
Yeah.
If the pin pad was faulty, they could have just published an apology in the front page of the newspaper and said, well, hold on, sorry, our fault. And they could have put their hands up at any stage. They could have stopped all of this. Because these were private prosecutions.
Yeah.
This wasn't the police.
No.
This wasn't the CPS.
No.
These were private prosecutions.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching today. Real life, real experience. This isn't an adaptation. This was exactly what happened. And there's a lot of lessons to be learned from today. There's a lot of information to be gained from today. So I hope you do take away the main things. Because it takes a lot of bravery to relive the worst times of your life and to talk about it on camera. We've all been there, or if you haven't, trust me, it does. It does take a lot of guts to do that. So we all wish Jess the best. If you ever see her, go up to her and say hi, and she'll say hi back. She presents a radio show. So anyone who's in the Midlands, she does a show on Raj FM. And you can listen in and listen to her show. But if you've been going through problems, reach out to her, because I'm sure she'll help or point you in the right direction. And ultimately, I think that's a message for us. If someone ever reaches out to us, don't just turn them away, don't assume they're guilty, don't ignore them, because they might be in a real dark place. Until the next time, thank you very much for watching Sat Sri Akal and Punjab 2000. Your place for infotainment. Keep it locked.